So, hi, good morning. My name is Perrine Paul-Gilloteaux, and I'm pleased to present you the National Infrastructure Funds Bioimaging Data Roadmap. So I just want to underline that there is two related talks. So one is a poster by Yves Tinevez about operating image analysis as a remote service nationally, and Euro Bioimaging will be organizing a workshop about assessing image data analysis services. So first of all, France Bioimaging is a national infrastructure for quantitative biological imaging. It's a French node for Euro Bioimaging, the European infrastructure. So it is composed by 7 nodes with complementary expertises, such as the Bordeaux node is specialized in neurosciences and plant sciences. Montpellier node is specialized in genome organization and gene expression. So every node is complementary. They rely on, for now, 18 imaging core facilities and 25 associated research and development teams that represent altogether 300 people serving about 5,000 users. I want to announce also the France Bioimaging image processing and data management node, which is leading the data project and which is a transversal node. France Bioimaging is constructed around the motto innovation, access, training. So we want to bring together research and innovation and provide access to advanced tech and methods. That's why we have these research and development teams associated to the facilities, and to train both users and staff, sustain training, education of dissemination of these methods. So as a lot of sitting on the bioimaging community, I would say we are facing several challenges. So regarding the new innovation, like the imaging of entire organisms, light sheet microscopies, the high resolution imaging and the multimodal imaging, the high throughput imaging, which is now getting more and more multiplexed, and of course, dealing with the deluge of data that we are producing. So in particular, for image data, we have identified 3 challenges. So the first one is really to apply our motto to machine learning and deep learning, and to image visualization, but also to data management, because every node, every of these 7 nodes is producing about 1 petaoctet of data per year, which are super heterogeneous and which require a lot of processing. So for this, we want to make data management useful and interesting. And as you know, in our community, the first source of reuse of our data sharing is deep learning, training, and image analysis in general. But we also want to valorize data by themselves and take incentive measures for fulfilling rich metadata, including annotations, and helping with data papers and participation to challenges. Also, we want to reduce the ecological impact of our research activities and make it as well less costly. For this, we need to simplify and facilitate data management and to provide turnkey tools and recipes to help access mesocenters, manage data from the microscope to the deposition to public archive in the context of open science, limit the effort to the minimum useful, such as minimum metadata annotation, and allow the reuse also of data management plan, which are now asked in a lot of projects, and make it a tool to facilitate the management of imaging data in the facility, but also for our users. We need to train people and create training content for users of our infrastructure, but also staff people in the train the trainers motto. And we need to communicate and raise awareness about data management. So for this, we ask every facility to fulfill its own data management plan that will be yearly updated and will be deposited and shared with our users and other infrastructures. We did create also indicators for our self-assessment, both on published data, analysis, data production. So the kind of information you provide is how to predict and know the type, format, and size of the data, where will be the data located, stored, and what are the resources available for their analysis, which metadata should the user be sure to keep, and how it will check the quality of the metadata, predict what data need to be kept, which one can be erased, and also how they will be shared and verified, made findable, accessible, interpretable, and reproducible in the long term. And we also provide advice about the legal aspect of it, and it can be also some ethical consideration. But we try also to assign responsibilities and means to it. So in a nutshell, this is our data management plan. So every node has its own microscopes. Most of them are associated to local servers that are processing or pre-processing the different data. The plan now is to push a lot of the analysis to a national, regional mesocenters. So mesocenters is a data center together with computational resources and human resources and adequate environment, I would say. So there is one mesocenters, which is labeled by regional area in French, about 10 of them. And the purpose is to have this local server not removed, because we still need to push immediately data from the microscope outside from the microscope to the local server, but to have it like very reduced in size and really used only to pre-process the data and check which data are worthy going to the regional mesocenters, where all processing will happen and all the data will be stored. So that will be a temporary storage here then. And then the idea is really to help open science and to help data after publication to be deposited in European or national repository, which are certified to be able to keep the data for a long time, such as bioimage archive, for example. So the thing is that to help this deposition, you also need to get the metadata from the very beginning of the story to alleviate the burden of filling them and not to lose them. And this includes history of processing as well. And the principle is to use this metadata such as that they are also compatible with the deposition. And for example, there have been some effort in the community to define what would be the minimum metadata required. And we are going to follow this recommendation from the very beginning of the acquisition. And for this, we need image data management tools to be implemented on the mesocenters to help the flow of the metadata. So most of the different facilities may have different solutions. So as a national infrastructure, we are open to several solutions possible. We are helping in particular people with the Homero solution. And what we are doing now is providing a data manager container and making it in a way that we can ensure with a minimal amount of people a national maintenance on all the mesocenters of this different deployment of Homero, also ensuring the interoperabilities between the different Homero databases, but also other data manager, and develop some specific France bioimaging modules in particular for the access to the mesocenters. We also are working with mesocenters to deploy tools specific to a specific task that we know to go through data manager. So by maintaining and developing containers also for France bioimaging methods and developing plugins for remote computation on mesocenters. We need also to mutualize annotation tools and annotation in a centralized database, so it makes easier for everyone to find it back and to share it, and also to share these pre-trained task-specific networks that will be created. But also the last pillar, I would say, is to develop everything related to visualization of this complex data, which are more complicated to understand. So both from the method of visualization itself, thanks to the research and development teams we are working on with, but also with way to visualize, such as virtual reality headsets, but also caves, the immersive 3D graphic rooms partnership. So that's our plan. Some of the projects that we have is already implemented. So we do have a recommendation and template for the data management plan. We have a key performance indicator for nodes. We have been finding ways to get data on the data. Every facility is in the process of defining and publishing its own data management plan for its own structure. We are planning also for a public archives pathway and a solution for data management. The data manager is mostly deployed on all nodes, on all facilities. We've been working also on training, and we will be soon launching the pilot project for artificial intelligence and databases. So that's the plan for now. So for this, just to give you an idea, we are several institutions, and we try to play, I would say, together through this national infrastructure and make some national position where we were supported actually by the institution to play the game together, meaning that we are recruiting, and we have been recruiting a few people, part of this FBI data team that will have permanent position for most of them, once again supported by different institutions with national, not local role. So some of them will be working with the mesocenters relationship and the database management rules, guideline, deployment. Some of them will be supporting bioimage analysis, and some of them really focusing on the machine learning parts. And for now, as I said, we have been defining key performance indicators, which is something that we need then to leverage money at the end and check that what we are doing is useful. We have provided our facilities with data management plan model for structures, and we are using a tool which is called data stewardship for that. So I will be happy to answer any question about that. Most of the facilities have now been trained and have filled their own structured data management plan, and the purpose really can be reusable in any of their user projects, because it's machine actionable, it's compatible and readable by any other tools. All facilities are now do have a data manager deployed. It's still in the pilot acculturation phase, because it's actually for some of them still on local resources. It's not deployed with a national recipe. So for now, we are still optimizing this national recipe or deployment. So then the next deployment would be all the same for all the facilities that are part of the infrastructure. So very facilitating the maintenance and allowing only 1 or 2 people to be the big administrator of them. And we do have rules clearly defined and responsible named in every note, which is maybe obvious, but it is actually a big work to do. So then, yes, the next step is really to define the guidelines and for image annotation, following this recommendation, and deploy the tools to help it, but also the deploy tools on the mesocenters, analysis tools to really make it feel like it's a good solution. And I just want to announce that there is still recruitment ongoing, so you can check our website, and there is a few announcements which are not which are still open. So with that, I thank all these people, and thanks for you for your attention. And thanks our institution, which are all supporting this plan.